If there are no objections, I'll waive the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting of November 18th, 2021, and place them on file. Remarks by Chairman. Thank everybody for coming out this evening. We have a few things to approve and go on from there. Remarks by School Administration. Shawn, anything?
Just to point out that we sent out an amended agenda yesterday. The reason we did that is we received 3 late invoices, and knowing that the next joint special is until the very end of January, we thought we shouldn't have the vendors wait that long to get paid, so
Okay.
sent those to you.
So, first item will be the architect's report. Jamie?
Thank you, Alderman Dowd. Good evening, everybody. Today you should have a kind of a memorandum there. I wanted to give a little bullet point sort of update on the schools, and then have that in front of you to kind of review, so you could kind of follow along with me today. So I'll start off at the Nashua New Middle School. I think Harvey's going to be presenting some things tonight on that one for packages, but new updates in the other world there ongoing over there is we did receive the state fire marshal approval letter that came in recently. We've started to see submittals and questions from Harvey, and we've been responding and getting the responses back to Harvey on those. The New Hampshire DES alteration of terrain review is still underway for the revised drawings that were sent back to them. Most recent correspondence with them was late last week, and they are actively reviewing that right now. We're going to check in with them again on Friday and see where that stands, so that hopefully we can see approval from them in the very near future. And I've had some correspondence with the city fire marshal reviewer that's ongoing right now, and we're responding to questions that have come in from them. Over at the Pennachuck Middle School, Harvey will be presenting 3 new PCOs tonight that are being recommended for approval. I'll cover them now to help that along when it's Ken's turn to speak on that. PCO number 27 is there was a PR created for some collaboration space and administration area revisions. These were requested by the principal and staff at the school. They were changes to a workroom that's currently in the center of the admin space, as well as creating a separate workspace in the center of the school where we kind of had this large collaboration room. They wanted to split that in half and use it as a teacher's workroom and a collaboration space. Ken will point out tonight that did result in a savings because some work was reduced and some work added. So you'll see that in a little bit here. PCO number 28 involved some revised from the safety and security director. There was a request to change the functioning of the courtyard doors. There'll be 6 courtyard doors in this particular design on the school. And these doors will have similar to the other schools that do have courtyards in the district, will have different mechanisms to keep the doors secure, but always have a way to get out in an emergency in case somebody happened to get locked in, there was a fire or something like that. So those are security revisions to those courtyard doors. So you'll see that one tonight as well. And then PCO number 29, there are 8 existing multi-user bathrooms in the existing school. We did some renovations under the current contract documents, which included some new toilet and urinal fixtures and dividing partitions and a new floor. As we reviewed deeper as we're getting into construction, looking at it, there was a request to also replace the lavatories, the sinks that are in there. Right now, it's an older plastic laminate counter, and could use a little revitalization, as well as new lighting in that space, and some new mirrors to go with a new lavatory. So you'll see that one as well. HARRIMAN has been continuing to review submittals and questions from the field from HARVEY on this one as well. Those have been coming in pretty fast and furious, and we're getting them back as quickly as we can. And then we're continuing to monitor the progress on site with the work that's ongoing with HARVEY. Actively right now, we've been reviewing some additional inquiries from the Nashua School District team. There's been some items that have been come up as in safety and security. I think the fire marshal or inspector has gone through and made a few comments that they'd like to see addressed. One of them is the existing kiln room, which was not impacted as part of the original scope to the school. Has some ventilation that goes through a rated door, and the reviewer wanted to put a full door in, and we're looking to provide a fire damper that allows so that when the exhaust is blowing out of that space, when it's hot, it needs to suck in air. And right now, it's going through that door, but that door should be rated. So our proposal is to provide a fire damper louver, so that if there was a fire, it would shut off. It would shut that opening so that fire couldn't spread to the school. So we're looking at providing you'll see, a future PCO on that, I presume. But we're working on the design for that right now. And there was also some air handler and exhaust fans that are nearing the end of their life and having maybe some slight issues with them. So we're reviewing those to see what we could do to fix them or replace them. Or there's one of them that we think actually could be abandoned, just in discussion with Nashua just today. So because it's an old one that's not necessary based on the current design. And over at Fairgrounds.
And Jamie, just one thing, the gang bathrooms they were talking about, we were going to be changing some of the items in it because they had to be changed. But the new school and Fairgrounds, the bathrooms are completely redone. And we didn't want to leave the bathrooms looking like they were half done. We wanted to make sure that they were all new, so. Okay.
Over at Fairgrounds, that's kind of, we've all been there, we've seen that, it's pretty much winding down. I know that HARVEY will be over there this break, Christmas break or a holiday break coming up. But there are a few things that we did have requests again from those safety reviews. There was some comments brought up about additional fire extinguishers. There were the spaces that have never had any, and there was a request to put some in. So we're looking at getting those in. And then the planters out there, I think some of us have seen the stone that kind of comes out of that space, and so we're looking at putting some edging around to help hold that back. And then the final school tonight for me is the Nashua 55 Franklin Street School. We have been continuing to coordinate with the school district on layouts and specific requests for the potential renovations to that school. And with that, we were issued a schematic drawings actually today. It says tomorrow, but we ended up getting it out a little bit early. So that went to HARVEY today, so they can start looking at what potential cost impacts that may entail should that move forward. And we also issued state fire marshal review documents to the state. That's going tomorrow for the ESSER funding side of 55 Franklin Street. So that's more like the mechanical upgrades and associated pieces to that. So that was going to the state fire marshal so that those ESSER funds can be released for the scopes. That's all I have today.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Yes.
Thank you. Regarding the 55 Franklin Street School, is it For the schematic drawings, are those primarily for the preschool or for the Brentwood portion of the facility?
It's the whole building, so it's actually all 4 stories and some associated site work and the stair towers.
So I just out of curiosity, I know you guys are working on the safety things like the stair towers. Did you guys, for the setups of the rooms and that kind of building to suit, did you check in with like the teachers and the principals of those facilities to see what's going to work best for like a preschool environment?
Yeah, I've been coordinating with Mr. Smith, and Mr. Smith has been sending me emails. Mr. Smith, could you allude to some of those individuals that have been providing comments?
Yeah, primarily working through the 2 principals, so Greg Warren and Alexis for the preschool have been giving me input. I've solicited input, so now's the time, pretend it's a blank sheet of paper and what do you want? And they've given us some good ideas. I've transferred those over to Jamie's, incorporating them. There's one Jamie doesn't even know about that I just got today. I'll be sending that to you tomorrow. On a related subject, we sent out a request for proposals earlier this week for traffic analysis. So similar to what we did for Pennachuck primarily, but also for the new middle school. We hope to hire a traffic consultant to look at Franklin Street and tell us how we can improve traffic flow around there. As you know, we're hoping to put the entire preschool there, population there starting next September, August. It's going to double the number of people going there. So it's already got quite a few parent drop-offs and buses. The buses will double. I presume the parent drop-offs will double. So we need some help in helping us analyze how to best arrange that. So once we get them on board, which will probably be next month sometime, we'll start that process.
So we had a meeting with the city engineer, the city traffic manager, the superintendent, 2 principals, some other DPW people, Mr. Smith and myself. There are some short-term things that are going to be done. It requires legislation. It'll happen right after the first of the year. And then there are long-term traffic issues that will be taking place with the help of the Public Works Department. And that has to do with making it safer. We don't know exactly what it's going to be, but the one street behind the school is going to be totally repaved and probably made one way. And there are other things that we have to work on, but the whole idea is to make it safer. Yes, Jamie?
Also, Ms. Brown, I wanted to mention that this schematic design is used by HARVEY to create a budget number for the work. In that budget number, there will be items like a design contingency that does allow for further design to potentially happen, so that, because we don't know everything at this early design stage, so that will allow some additional requests or adjustments that need to be made as that design progresses. We may find something as we're continuing to do design that doesn't meet a certain code requirement that we haven't done a full analysis yet. So there will be some of that to be able to allow that to go further.
Any additional questions? Okay. Ken?
Thank you, Alderman Dowd. I've got a number of things to cover tonight, so I'll start with a brief construction update. I'll have some photos for everybody next month. I'm waiting on some aerial photographs to kind of show the overall progress of the north addition, and you'll really start to see the areas that we've turned over and the classroom areas in the south addition that are working their way along pretty well. So next month I'll have a slideshow for everybody to see. Overall, the schedule for the school is tracking on time per the current phasing plan that was reviewed with the administration and Nashua Plant Operations. A couple of major milestones since the last meeting. The boiler and electrical room have been completed, so all 3 new boilers are up and running and operational. We'll be commissioning over Christmas break to kind of work out all the kinks and ensure that the school and the students in the city is getting what they paid for. The new chorus addition was completed this week. The students moved in on Monday, and we're now renovating the existing keyboard and music area right now, and that'll be turned over sometime at the end of January. Moving into the multi-use group bathrooms that Jamie had alluded to before, we'll be beginning that work over Christmas break. We're breaking that work up into 2 phases. So the first 4 bathrooms will be done over Christmas break, and they'll be completed at the end of January. And then the second group will be completed, will start in February break and turned over at the end of March. So it's roughly the same timeline for each set of bathrooms. The reason why we're starting that work during a vacation week is the first portion of the work is heavy demolitions, very noisy, would be disruptive for the students and classes going on. So that's kind of the logic behind that schedule. Moving into the South Addition, still tracking to be complete in April 2022. The brick veneer has been completed at the exterior, so if you drive by, you can see that all the staging has been taken down and all the tenting has been taken down. All the drywall, I was there this afternoon, complete in the classroom additions. That's everything along the new bus loop area. And everything else, the permanent roof installation is in progress. Mechanical rough-in ongoing inside. Rough inspections will be took place this week. And drywall in the common areas and the corridors and like kind of the multi-use spaces is ongoing as well. So South Addition is tracking really well, and I think you'll be able to see the changes and the progress in next month's meeting. North Addition is again tracking on schedule. We'll be turning that over at the end of June 2022, right around the end of June, 4th of July region. All the exterior framing is complete. You can see we've started the sheathing on closer to the Manchester Street side. The slab was placed 2 weeks ago, so kind of working our way through getting the temporary roof on, and the roofing will begin next month as well. So that the north is tracking along really well and ahead of schedule there. And then again, just to remind everybody, the final addition is the Learning Commons. That's kind of where the last portable is located, kind of near the bus loop entry. That begins in April 2022, and that's slated to be completed December 2022. So that's kind of a high-level update of where we stand at Penachuk. Are there any questions, comments, and anything you want to have me dive into more detail?
Any questions on progress of Penachuk? Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so the next thing, I do have a packet that everybody should have in front of them with a number of items. We'll start again from the top. The first item here, this is PCCO number 6, and this is a prime contract change order. All this document is the formal document that amends the overall contract value for the project. So this thing in front of you, these are comprised of the 4 PCOs, the potential change orders, that this committee approved last meeting. All the PCOs do is it allows us to proceed with the work in the field and give the subcontractors notification to proceed. So this document, the PCOs that are within this PCCO is PR 25 for the new additional basketball hoops. So there was 4 additional basketball hoops that will be installed in the gymnasium that will match what was done at Fairgrounds Middle School. PR 17, folding partitions. There was some unforeseen conditions that were unknown at the time of design. So this was some added steel that was required to be installed, some reframing of the existing partitions. PR 6 is a swing space and intervention room renovation. Jamie did a good job of explaining this one in the last meeting. It was kind of fully renovating the swing space that was created for this first phase of work. And then PR 27 was a fire marshal requirement for duct smoke detectors in some of the air handling units. So all in all, this PCCO totals a total contract increase of $176,824.16.
So I'd like to entertain a motion to approve PCCO number 6 in the amount of $176,824.16, realizing that all the things in this have all been previously approved.
So moved.
Like,
Sorry.
okay. That was Ms. Bishop, right?
Yep.
I can't see. All right, the motion is to approve PCCO number 6. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is potential change order PCO number 27. This is for PR 22R. This is for the collaboration and administration area revisions that Jamie had walked you through earlier. This pretty much involved every trade contractor on the project, and after all of the adds and deletions from the design, there's an overall savings to the project of $33.05. So,
Coffee and donuts.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So, did you want to explain more, or just?
Yeah, I can do. Would you like me to go through each item here?
Just quickly, yeah.
Okay, so this, there was a credit for the demolition that was to be performed. There was added pricing for any door relocations that needed to be revised. Added casework that was not in the original design. There was a credit for masonry that was not to be performed. The roofing, there was added pricing for roofing material required to patch the roof. Painting, there was additional painting with all of the changes in the design. There were added shades, so that added a little bit of cost to this change. Flooring, there was additional flooring that was not in the original design, so that was also an add. There was added electrical. There was 2 light fixtures added, and with those light fixtures, there were added switching. Additional temperature sensors for HVAC and ductwork revisions shown in the design. Really the kind of the largest item that provided the savings was the deletion of a large skylight. So that kind of made this change a savings for the project, so that was deleted. No cost for any ceiling changes here. No cost for any fire protection sprinkler renovations and changes. There was no cost for the structural steel, and there was no cost for drywall and framing. So again, with all of those changes, there was a savings to the project of $33.05.
So basically, the principal and staff asked for this to make their area up front more efficient and effective, and it ends up with a cost savings, so. Are any can I hear a motion to approve PCCO number 27 at an overall savings of $33.05?
Oh.
Okay. Alderman Harry Gothright. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next PCO is for PR 22, and this is for the Nashua School Department security request for added security features at 6 doors. 4 of the doors were hollow metal doors and frames, and 2 of the doors were storefront, kind of like the main entry doors that you see at the front of the school. So when you hear us say storefront, that's kind of what we're referring to. The scope associated with this was for electrical, was to run 120 volt power to each location from the closest electrical panel. That is, that price includes labor and material. The 4 locations for Kelly Brothers door hardware revisions was to furnish and install new doors, frames, and hardware at each location. Signage, there was new emergency signage at each location. And the other 2 locations was to furnish and install new hardware at the storefront locations. And that is for a total value of $20,861.07.
So I'd entertain a motion to approve PCO number 28 in the amount of $20,861.07.
So moved.
Okay, motion's been made. Okay, so motion's been made. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. The final PCO for Pennachuck Middle School tonight is PCO number 29, and this is for the group bathroom renovations that we've been discussing. So again, in this cost, as Jamie explained earlier, it's to furnish and install all new light fixtures in each of the bathrooms, 24 new sinks, and 24 new framed mirrors. We were able to cover all of the ceiling replacement with project budget in the GMP, so that won't be an additional cost to the project. So we were able to cover that cost. So that is not included in this price. So with all three of those scope additions, it works out to a total contract value increase of $46,275.41.
So I'd like to entertain a motion to approve PCO number 29 in an amount of $46,275.41.
Moved.
Okay, Alderman Wiltshire. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Ken?
Thank you. The final item on my agenda, I do have 9 recommendation packages for award for subcontractors for the new middle school. All of you have a kind of a cover sheet broken down version for the sake of saving some trees. Alderman Dowd has the full packet here.
all the
So
stuff
if
I had to go
you
through.
have any questions, all of this information was distributed digitally. I can certainly get you other copies if you need them. Okay, so again, most of you are very familiar with this process. I'll identify the bid package name. I'll describe the scope of work, the number of bidders that we received. I'll identify the successful bidder, and then I'll spell out the total contract value for your approval. So the first bid package that I'll be reviewing tonight is the miscellaneous metals. This is basically for any steel items that weren't captured with the structural steel package that was previously approved in the November meeting. Those include metal stair railings, platform stairs, mechanical room stairs, any ladders that you'll see on the roof and mechanical rooms, elevator pit ladders, roof hatches, bollards, OT, PT swing supports at overhead doors and projection screens, any lintels you see, like any time you walk through a door frame, there's usually a piece of steel over that opening, so that this is covered in this package. And it's to furnish and install all of those miscellaneous items throughout the project. We did receive 3 bidders. We are recommending the lowest qualified bidder. If you look at the bid tabs sheet that is the second page, the bidder that we're recommending, they're not the lowest number, but they do have all of the scope covered. So that's why we are approved. They were recommending them for the work. That number was carried and approved in the GMP that was approved by this committee back a few months ago. So the bidder that we're recommending for this scope of work is SL Chasey Welding and Fabricating of Hudson, New Hampshire, for a total contract value of $642,800.00.
So I'd like to entertain a motion to award the miscellaneous metals to Chase Welding and Fabricating, Inc. of Hudson, New Hampshire, in the amount of $642,800.
So moved.
Okay, motion's been made. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. The next bid package we'll be reviewing is the decorative metal railing, and this is the metal railing in the community stair. This is kind of it's kind of an architectural feature, and we were able to find a contractor that was going to furnish and install this, being that it's kind of a main feature in the new school. So it's a soup to nuts bid package, and it includes shop drawings and calculations, basically the entire package as designed by Harriman. We received 3 bids for this scope of work. We're recommending the lowest qualified bidder. It's HDI Railing Systems of Columbia, Pennsylvania, for a total contract value of $69,312.00.
So I'd like to entertain a motion to provide the award for decorative metal railings for the new middle school to HDI Railing Systems of Columbia, Pennsylvania, in the amount of $69,312.
So moved.
Okay, Mrs. Bishop, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next bid package we'll be reviewing is the spray foam insulation package. The scope of work here is the spray foam insulation at all the exterior walls. So we frame the walls and then we spray the insulation. I think most of you are used to seeing the kind of like the pink stuff or the yellow stuff in the walls. This is a heavier duty application, usually used in commercial buildings. It also includes the insulation at the bottom of walls, all the window mullions, all the entry canopy, and the gaps at all the windows and doors. We received 3 bids. We're recommending the lowest qualified bidder, and that is Quality Insulation of Nashua, New Hampshire, for a total contract value of $200,000.00.
All right, I'd like to entertain a motion to the scope of work for the new middle school, spray foam insulation to Quality Insulation of Nashua, New Hampshire, in the amount of $200,000.
So moved. Sorry.
Okay, Brown? Mrs. Brown? Right. Really hard to tell. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next big package is the spray fireproofing package, and this is all the spray fireproofing on the structural steel and metal decking. It also covers any patching and repairs that we'll need to do after all the mechanical work overhead is completed. We received 6 bids for this bid package, and we're recommending the lowest qualified bidder, and that is Optaline Gypsum LLC of Nashua, New Hampshire, for a total contract value of $300,000.00.
So I'd like to entertain a motion to award the spray fireproofing for the new middle school to Optaline Gypsum LLC of Nashua, New Hampshire, in the amount of $300,000.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Mrs. Raymond, any discussion on this? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Next package is for the overhead coiling and sectional doors. The scope of work covers all the overhead coiling and sectional doors, overhead counter shutters, all the hardware associated with those openings, covers installation. There is an option to add a custom graphic, and this is an add alternate. So the base contract value without the custom graphic would be $101,822. There is an add alternate, Jamie, to add a custom graphic, I believe. That graphic is to be decided by the school or this committee, I believe.
Yeah, those are the premier kind of, when you walk into the school, you're gonna see the cafeteria doors, sectional doors. They're insulated doors. And just having a solid color on 3 big overhead doors was something we thought could detract from the appearance of that fantastic entry. So we wanted to include a custom graphic, which yes, could be decided by any party that certainly the JSSBC would be involved with that decision, the final decision of it, but we thought it would be a good place to include a graphic of some level. So we'd bring something forward and work with the group and share it and see if it works.
Thanks, Jamie. Just to clarify, so if accepted, the new value with the custom graphic is $174,402. That value is covered in the GMP contract that was approved by this group. So if you take it, it's covered. If not, it's a savings. So just to clarify, we did receive 3 bids, and we're recommending the lowest qualified bidder, and that is Bodie Equipment Company of Londonderry, New Hampshire.
So I'd like to entertain a motion to award overhead coiling and sectional doors to the Bodie Equipment Company of Londonderry, New Hampshire, in the amount of $101,822. And in the motion, would you please designate whether we want to accept or reject the alternate? Okay. All right. So, discussion.
So, I mean, I like the idea. It sounds a lot more aesthetically pleasing to have some kind of imagery there or something pretty. Is there an alternative? Is this kind of going to be like a frosted glass kind of thing going on, or is it hard solid surface?
The preference was actually, in the original design, was to have glass type doors. The issue with that is that the doors need to be fire rated because of the space. So you can't. It would either be an astronomical cost to do that, or the viability of it actually is probably not even a thing that we could really do. So the graphic was a halfway medium between just plain doors and glass overhead doors that were fire rated.
Right. Okay. So are you thinking color, like a black and white, just something like a school logo? I don't know what the scale of this is. $75,000 or $72,000 is a significant savings. I like the idea of it, but I just want to make sure we're getting a $70,000 piece of artwork.
Yeah. The doors are approximately, let's say, 20 by 10 in that ballpark each. There's 3 of them. The graphic can really be. We were picturing something more than maybe a school logo, because there's 3 of them, but incorporating some sort of contemporary style graphic that would work with the layout, the design of the school. But again, it's flexible. I mean, we're going to bring it here, and the group may say, no, that's not what we're picturing, and we could show images and stuff once we get to that point.
I think we're going with this. So it's something kind of, yeah. So more of like a graphic image as opposed to a school logo or something. Okay.
Correct.
All right. I'm on board.
Yeah, when I first saw that, I went, oh, what? Do we getting some artists from Europe to come in and paint it? But there are 3 doors and probably 3 different designs, and it will come back for approval and a decision on what we want on there. And I assume if in the end we didn't want to do it, we'd get the credit back, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Question, Mrs. Bishop.
Would it be something easy enough where if we involved maybe the CTE students in what their graphic design could be, could we involve the students in, or does it have to come from like a professional outside?
This is the first thing you see when you come in the school on a $77 million building.
Yep.
Much as I like the graphic arts people in school, I'm not sure that we want to.
That's my kind of artwork. Stick figures. I wouldn't
But they
sign
could
me
come
up
up-
for that
they could
project.
come up with the
I mean, I'll
idea.
take the $75,000.
They
Fine by
could be involved in
professional.
helping coming up with
Yeah.
the concept, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe it's an opportunity to let them provide some feedback and then play off from that and work together and come up with some neat
Yeah.
ideas. Or
Give them some
Yeah.
ownership over the
we're
whole
open to
thing.
anything. We think it needs
Okay.
something other than a either solid aluminum look or a solid
Yeah.
black look or whatever color may be. Those are kind of the options. I think something to make it pop and feel like a welcoming feature
Yeah.
of that. So.
All right, so the motion on the floor is to award the overhead ceiling and sectional scope of work to the Bodie Equipment Company of Londonderry, New Hampshire, including the alternate one for a total amount of $174,402. Any additional discussion?
I have one more question. Are we limited color-wise? Like, is it one color? Can we have, 16 colors? Not that I think we should, but if it's,
Applied, yeah, it's an applied graphic, so I think it can be an image, it can be anything. I defer to Harvey to make sure that that's an accurate when they carry it in the price, because we carried a just custom graphic as a line item, but it's a graphic, so. It can
right,
be a
well,
lot
I was
Yeah,
just
they can do
thinking,
pretty
like-
much anything. It's so expensive because of the type of paint and how it's applied, because it's done in the factory.
Okay.
So,
I'm just thinking if they were to choose an image that had, multiple colors.
Yeah, and
Not that
actually,
I
we could even share, like the website, company websites to kind of show you what they've done on other things. It's an image. I mean, it's a full image of anything, so.
Okay.
There will be a lot more further discussion on it going forward, but we just need to get the company on board.
Right, I just want to know where the parameters are before we spend, or we approve spending $72,000 on.
Yeah, well, we'll have a meeting
Graphics.
probably on that, but
Okay.
that's not a decision we have to make tonight. Exactly what it will be, but. Mr.
Just a
Smith?
quick question, it's just, I'm trying to envision what we're doing. So this is an overhead door that rolls up. Well, you're talking bunch of slats that
Mhm.
it's consisting of.
Yes.
Okay, so when
Yes.
it's uncoiled, then you see the picture.
When it's down,
When
you'll
it's
see
down.
the image, yep.
Okay,
And the paint has to be able to survive that up and down, up and down.
multiple times, yes.
But that would only be, like, during the school day, it would be up, right? Most of the day, because of lunches.
These are, so every school is going to do something a little bit different. But where this space is, the intent would be that it would be down when they're preparing and after when they're cleaning up, because it's an insulated door, so it's not going to make a lot of noise, or if people are walking through the hallways and stuff, it kind of creates that separation. Is it up during school lunches? Absolutely. But is it down when performances are going on in that stage? Yes. Is it when people are coming into the school in the morning? Probably yes, unless there's breakfast going
There's
on, which could be an
breakfast.
option too. So yes.
So that's what I'm just thinking, because we have breakfast and then we have lunch. And right now, lunch goes from like 10:30 to 1:30. So, all right. I don't know what Jimmy's yelling, but he's probably yelling at me, so.
Okay,
All right.
so, any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
thank you. The next package is the framing and drywall package, and the scope of work in this package is all, the furnish and install of all light gauge metal framing at the interior and exterior of the new school, all drywall and sheathing required, the install of all the metal door frames within the light gauge metal framed areas, the furnish and install of all the expansion joints and control joints at the gypsum assemblies locations, the furnish and install of all the insulated wall panels, level 5 finish at skylights and writable wall surfaces. Level 5 finish is basically the smoothest, best finish you can see on drywall per industry standards. And then level 4 bullet resistant where required and shown on the drawings and specs. We received 4 bids on this bid package, and we're recommending the lowest qualified bidder, and that is Gen X Construction Group, LLC of Hudson, New Hampshire, for a total contract value of $5,119,396.00.
Remembering this is a 4-story building, I'd like to get a motion to approve the framing and drywall, the Gen X Construction Group LLC of Hudson, New Hampshire, in the amount of $5,119,396.
So moved.
Mrs. Raymond, any discussion?
I just want to say that in these days of school shootings, I think the idea of having some that are bulletproof and that it would go to a company in New Hampshire, both make me happy. So,
We use the term bullet resistance, not,
All right, bullet resistant.
they don't like to use the word bulletproof.
Okay, bullet resistant is good too.
Yeah.
So as a parent and a community member, I like the sound of that.
Okay, any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next package is the acoustical ceiling tiles, ACT, and acoustical wall panel package. The scope of work covered in this package is the furnish and install of all of the acoustical ceilings, all of the linear wood ceiling and wall veneer. Those are called rule-on panels, kind of an architectural feature. All of the acoustical treatments you see typically in band rooms, kind of knocks down the sound. The tectum panels, all hardware associated with their scope of work, and again, the install of all of the above. We received 3 bids. We're recommending the lowest qualified bidder, and that is Metro Walls of Manchester, New Hampshire, for a total contract value of $1,207,100.00.
I'd like to entertain a motion to award the ACT and acoustic wall panels work for the new middle school to Metro Walls of Manchester, New Hampshire in the amount of $1,207,100.
So moved.
Motion is to approve. Any discussion? I assume that was to tell her who did. Any discussion, though? No? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next bid package we have tonight is the specialties package. You're fortunate to, usually these get broken out a little bit. We're fortunate to get one subcontractor to cover all of the below scope. All the visual display services, so that marker boards, tack boards, any writable surfaces, all of the display cases, all the toilet compartments, the cubicle curtains and tracks, all of the toilet accessories, any emergency access and information cabinets, so the Knox boxes for the fire department, for their keys, the AEDs, those are all be provided by this contractor. All the fire protection specialties, so that includes fire extinguishers, fire extinguisher cabinets, all the projection screens, and this also includes all the installation of the above items described.
So I'd like to entertain a motion to award the specialties for the new middle school to Material Handling Sales MHS of Yarmouth, Maine, in the amount of $416,537. Alderman Wiltshire, any discussion? Mrs. Raymond?
Thank you. I just wanted to ask Mr. Smith about the toilet compartments, because I recall wanting cinder block in between the toilets here in this high school when it was built. Are we having cinder block in the new middle school, or are we just having regular metal?
I believe we're not metal either, we're going with resin material.
Mike.
Mike?
Yes, I believe, well, Jamie has his hand up, I'll let him answer.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
I
I'm
just
sorry.
recall Mr. Smith's strong feelings about this in the past.
The most of the toilet partitions are CMU block, but there are some areas like the doors that, so the walls are CMU block, but the face of it with a door is the HDPE. It's a hard plastic, solid plastic all the way through. Toilet partition. So that is what that is covering. So yes, it's CMU, but the doors themselves are the toilet partition.
Yeah,
Okay.
opening a block wall door would be
No, I don't
really-
think that would work.
They're tough
but
to open.
Right.
They're tough to open.
I was curious about the sidewalls, given Mr. Smith's expressions about that in the
I
past.
think the simple answer is yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was
Yes.
clear. He was clear here as well. So
Yeah, oh, good.
Also staying away from metal, so we're going to, better door.
Yep, great.
All right,
oh,
so
sorry.
Go ahead, Mr.
the motion's been made to award the specialties for the new middle school to Material Handling Sales MHS of Yarmouth, Maine, to $416,537. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The last package we'll be presenting tonight is the folding partitions package. This is for all the folding panel partitions and glass folding panel partitions that typically separate one large room into, divided into two separate learning areas or spaces. We received 3 bids. We're recommending the lowest qualified bidder, and that is CRF Incorporated of Dayville, Connecticut, for a total contract value of $146,000.00.
So I'll entertain a motion for the folding petition scope of work for the new school to CRF Inc. of Dayville, Connecticut, in the amount of $146,000. Okay. So a motion's been made to, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's it for the recommendations for tonight. We'll have another handful next month, and hopefully we'll be close to finishing up. Thank you, everybody.
So I think it's a good thing that we've awarded most of our contracts to people that are local area, and the others, we basically stay within New England, so that's what we try to do, as long as they're low bidders and qualified. So I think it's a good job. Okay. I think invoices. That would be you, Mr. Smith.
Okay, yes. So, invoices, I'm just going to read from the agenda if you want to follow along. The first one's to Allied Universal. They're a security contractor. This is for work at Fairgrounds Middle School. This was to decommission the portable classroom that was taken out and return all the security devices that were used to us. Cost us $2,620. HARRIMAN had 3 invoices for the new middle school, for Pennachuck Middle School, and for work at Franklin Street. Those totaled $63,469.58. HARVEY had 1 invoice. It was for Pennachuck Middle School, $947,611.45. Hillsborough County invoice, $46.53. That's the recording fee for the property that we purchased. We came to agreement with one of the abutters there to buy that small sliver of land that we needed to complete the roadway to the new middle school. So the agreement was that we would split that cost with them. So our share was $46.53. John Turner Consulting, they are our testing agent. 1 invoice from them for work at Pennachuck, $2,067.50. Page Street, they provide the ground storage unit at Pennachuck, $95. Pro AV Systems, they are providing the projection systems, and that's for Fairgrounds Middle School, $72,448.60. That, by the way, is pretty much the cost of the materials, so that does not include the labor. That I expect they will be doing that installation over the coming months. Turner Group, 1 invoice, 2 invoices, I'm sorry. 1 for Fairgrounds Middle School, 1 for Pennachuck, totaling $10,075.29. And finally, 2 invoices from Vanessa. They are the traffic consultant, 1 at the new middle school and 1 at Pennachuck, totaling $4,994.96. So for the middle school project, that all totals $1,091,453.88. And for the Franklin Street School project, that totals $11,975.03.
Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve and pay the invoices as were just read in the amount of, for the middle school project of $1,091,453.88, and for the Franklin Street School Project, $11,975.03. So moved by Alderman Wiltshire. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Comments by committee members. Alderman Wiltshire.
I just wanted to add too that I really appreciate that a lot of these.
Mike.
I do appreciate that the vendors that we're using are mostly local vendors. I think that's a big win for this, so thank you.
Yeah. Any other comments? Mr. Smith.
Just the financial sheet that was in your package for Franklin Street, a lot of zeros. We haven't really populated that yet. We know that it's, as we approve invoices, it's going to be a little more complicated because funding sources will be from various places. One will be ESSER funds. We already know that's 5.2 million. One, we actually paid for what we paid for so far with HARRIMAN with the deferred maintenance money from the school district. But then the third piece will be bonded funds, and we need to put that budget together. So that's what HARVEY just got the schematics today, and they'll start working on an estimate for that. Then Jamie and I will start to put together the soft costs for the budget. They'll help populate all those other numbers, and then we'll give that to Alderman Dowd and present it to you, and we'll go forward from there.
Yeah, we'll take legislation to do the bonding part of it. Okay, any other comments from committee members? No need for non-public. Do I hear a motion? Alderman Wiltshire?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion is to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned at 7:59 PM. Thank you, everyone.